to start. So yeah, so for you guys who don't know, I would just let you know Tuesday classes now, they are themed foundations. So we'll be learning foundations for the movements that we will be progressing on Thursday classes. So Tuesday classes are foundations, Thursday classes are progress. So they're two different things of the classes. So just so you know. So today, let's just take a look at our posture, as I like to just draw your attention to at the start of the class. Just make sure you have good neutral spine. Make sure your core is engaged. And when you engage your core, your breathing becomes lateral thoracic. So you're breathing into your rib cages. So your rib cages expand out to the side as you inhale, and then they contract as you exhale. So keeping those in mind, your posture, your breathing, and your core, then we start doing our warm-up session. So let's just start by walking our legs, walking on the spot. Try and bring your knees up towards your hips, so hip height. If you can have your hands there, just so you can make sure you bring them really to hip height, not lower than that. And then now when you get the height of the knees right, then you start moving and try to get alternate arm and alternate leg. So right leg, left arm, left leg, right arm. So we can do it slow and with control, with the core engaged, and inhale one movement, exhale another movement. We can speed up a little bit, but don't have to be running. So you can keep coordination and balance and engagement of the core. So it's all about foundations, as we said on Tuesday. So now we can start to slow down and bring it back to neutral. We're just warming up our joints and our muscles here so we can do the practice safely without causing any injury or any straining of the muscles. Let's move the neck now. So bring your chin to your chest. Then you lift your chin up towards the ceiling, so you open your throat. Bring it down again, so open the back of your neck. And inhale, bring your chin up. Exhale, bring our head to neutral. Now inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, center. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Now again, inhale, center, right ear to right shoulder. Keep your posture, keep your core engaged. Bring our head back to center, and then left ear to left shoulder. Back to center. Let's start rolling our shoulders now. So you can roll your shoulder back a few times. Roll the shoulders back, and then you roll the shoulders forward. So back again a few times, and then forward again a few times. And then when you finish, draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Nice posture again. Now, let's open our collarbones and our chest muscles. So interlace our finger behind your back. Look up. So open our throat again. Chin is up towards the ceiling. And then bring our head to neutral. Interlace our fingers in front of you. And then look down. Chin comes towards the chest and we round our back. So we're going into extension and flexion of the back. So back to center, neutral, and then interlace the finger behind. And then now lift your chin, look up, open your collarbones, open your chest. Try and keep your shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale back to center. Exhale, round. Now, chin to chest, palms of the hands pressing forward, and inhale, center. Let's do 2 more times. So interlace fingers behind, chin up, back to center. Inhale, exhale, interlace your fingers in front of you, chin to chest. Soft knee, and now inhale back to center. Bring your arms down by your side. Let's try and bring our heels off the floor now. So turn on my side here so you can see. Inhale and lift onto the balls of the feet. Exhale down. So inhale, lift, exhale down. Engage again. Inhale, lift, exhale down. Engage your core. Now we try and lift our arms together with the feet. So inhale, lift. Exhale down. And then the aim here, if you look at me, is to get your arms parallel to your ears and then open the chest towards the ceiling as you exhale, bring feet and arms down. If that's too much on your balance, you can do just the arms and just the heels alternate, okay? If not, if that's all good, we can do it all together. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the arms. Exhale, look up, open your collarbones, and bring arms and heels down. So we do one more time. Do just the heels or just the arm if that's enough for you. Now, exhale down, open your chest. Now, we'll start to move our hip joints. So we will be drawing circles with the toes on the floor. So transfer the weight to your left leg. Slightly lift, bend your right knee. Toes are touching the floor, and then you start drawing circles with those right toes on the floor. Inhale, engage your core. Exhale, open the circle. Inhale, close the circle. Now switch sides. So draw the circle to the other direction. Sorry, switch direction. And engage your core for support. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. One more circle, and then place right foot back on the floor, and we do the same on the left leg. So you can start with small circles, and then you can gradually increase the size of the circles. Just make sure you really move in your hip joint. So it's really coming from the hip joint, not from the knee. Exhale, open, change direction there. Exhale, open the circle, inhale, close. Two more circles. And place that foot back down, shake our legs a little bit. And we're just moving our ankle joints now before we start the practice. So just lift our right leg and circle the ankle to one direction and then to the other direction a few times. Change direction again and then again. And place that foot down. And with the other left foot, same thing. So circle the ankle to one direction, to the other, and then again. And then again. So at this point, you can hold on to the wall or to a piece of furniture if you're losing your balance and focus on the rotation of the ankle. So now, guys, that we are warmed up, we're doing the push-ups. If you've been here before and you want to choose your level of the push-up, you can do it, or we do 4 times together. I'll give you 2 beginners option, 2 to build strong foundation. As you said about the Tuesday class, is all about foundation. So let's do and get this right now. So you standing at the top of your mat, hip distance apart between your feet, collarbones are open, shoulders are relaxed down away from the ears. Inhale with the core engaged, feel your rib cages expanding. As you exhale, you will hang your arms, hang your head, start rolling your spine down, vertebra by vertebra. Bend your knee as much as you need to accommodate, to support your hamstrings and your back. When your hands get to the floor, then you start walking them with the knees bent, bringing the knees to the floor to go to all fours. So you end up there in all fours, knees below the hips, wrists below the shoulders. Hands should be a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And then we will inhale as we bend the elbows and bring our nose to touch the floor. Our chest comes towards the floor. There's a diagonal line from my hip to my shoulder. And then as I exhale, I push up back to all fours. Tuck my toes, push my hips up and back, knees are bent, walk my hands back towards my body, hang here like a rag doll, and then I roll up vertebra by vertebra, really thinking of my spine as a string of pearls, and I'm feeling one pearl at a time. So get to the top, fix your posture in neutral again, inhale, collarbones are open, and then as you exhale, you do the counter and movement with the collarbones, the round crown of the head towards the floor, hands hang there. When you get to the floor, walk your hands back to all fours, bring your knees down, check in with your posture, hips over knees, shoulders over wrist, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Again, bend your elbows close to your rib cages. Inhaling down. When your nose touches the floor, exhale. Extend your elbows, push up. Tuck your toes, hips go up and back. Walk your hands towards your body, and then hang here like a rag doll. And then roll your spine up, vertebra by vertebra. getting to the top of the movement. Shoulders and head are the last things to come back to neutral. So keep doing on all fours if that's where you're at. And the other option is to do plank on your knees. So we stay on these two options for now. So exhale as you're rolling down, vertebra by vertebra, think of your spine, mobilizing each vertebra at a time. Then walk your hands, bring your knees to the floor as if you're going to all fours, but you keep walking your hands until you have this nice line from your knees to your hips, from your hips to your shoulders. Cross the ankles at the back, or you can keep the ankles uncrossed as you wish. Hands again, slightly wider than shoulder width, and then you will inhale to bring your body on a straight line down towards the body, towards the floor. Don't touch the floor. Exhale, extend your elbows, and then you back in plank on your knees. Tuck your toes, start walking your hands back, hips go up and back, and then you're here again in forward fold. And then you're rolling vertebra by vertebra back up. Bend your knee as much as you need again to support your low back and your hamstrings. So last time we do the push-up. So you can choose all fours or plank on your knees. Inhale to prepare. Standing tall there, crown of the head towards the ceiling, and then you do the opposite. Crown of the head towards the floor. Arms are hanging. Walk our hands. Bring our knees to the floor. Knees are close together. Then keep walking your hands. Cross at the ankle. And then inhale down. And exhale. Push up. Strong arms, strong chest and shoulders. Tuck your toes. Hips go up and back. Walk your hands. Your feet should be hip distance apart when you bring them to the floor. And then bend your knees, grounding through the four corners of your feet, pushing the floor away from you, and rolling your spine up, vertebra by vertebra. So now, you can give a little shake on your body. We are lying on the floor. So you come to a seated position, bend your knees, go slow, bring yourself down to the floor, and we're lying on our back. We're doing the one leg stretch. Again, foundation. So level 1. I'll teach you level 1, and we can do level 1 and level 2. So we'll have the knees bent, and back is on the floor in neutral. So you can tilt your pelvis to imprint your low back on the floor and tilt your pelvis the other way to create the gap between your low back and the floor, and find a middle point in that gap where the gap is enough to slide a piece of paper through it, but it's not overarched and it's not imprinted as well. So you can play with the pelvis there to find your low, neutral low back. Shoulders relax down, eye gaze at the ceiling. We will start to slide our heel on the floor, on our right heel, on our right leg, and on the exhale, and then inhale, you slide the heel back to where it started. I'll move up on my mat a little bit because I want to be going through the whole length of the mat. I don't want my foot to get off the mat as I slide it forward. So let's do 3 more times. So exhale. As you're doing this, the rest of the body is engaged. So your whole arms, hands pressing against the floor, and the other legs engaged. So exhale, extend the leg, inhale, back to center. Exhale, and back to center. My left leg's engaged, my arms, my neck's in neutral, and my shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Exhale, extend, inhale, back to center. Now, the second leg, the other leg, the left leg, exhale, start sliding your ankle on the floor, and then on the inhale, slide the ankle back towards your body. So exhale again, slide it away. Inhale, slide it back. So the thing here is to keep control, coordination, and engagement of the whole body. Even the parts that are not moving, they're engaged to support that leg that's moving, and with control and engagement of your thigh muscles, movement coming from the hip and the knee joint. Let's do it 2 more times. As you extend the legs, feel your hip flexors and extensors working. Your glutes on the left leg as well should be engaged as you extend, and inhale back to center. So that's level 1. Let's just do a few times on level 2. So you bring right leg to tabletop. So shin parallel to the floor, toe pointed. You will exhale to extend the leg from the hip joints and then extend from the knee joint. So let's do 3 more times. Extend, toes pointed, inhale back to center. So make sure your hands are pushing against the floor and the rest of the body is stable and still. You're not moving. Inhale back, and last time. Inhale back. Now bring that foot back onto the floor and we'll bring the left leg to tabletop. So knee is over the hips when we are in tabletop. Exhale, extend the leg, point the toe, inhale, back to center, back to tabletop. Exhale, do it 3 more times. So engage your core, engage the rest of your body. Even if you think you want to progress to the full version, just get these right. No point in progressing to full versions if you can't do the basic versions, the basic level right, with control, with engagement. Now bring your foot back onto the floor, extend your 2 legs, and go into full body stretch. Stretch, arms and legs to opposite direction, and then release. Bend your knees, roll onto your side, and push up. And we're going into coming to a seated position, and we're doing the spine stretch. So you can use blocks. You can sit onto a block if your hamstrings too tight, and make sure your legs are close together. There can be a gap between the legs, but that shouldn't be much. Maybe fist distance or a little bit less. So bring your arms at shoulder height, sitting in neutral. We'll take a deep inhale, keep your chest open. You hinge from the hips on the exhale as you hinge forward. And then when you can't hinge anymore, then you bring your arm, shoulder, and head down. Then inhale, back to center. It's normal to start slow and short range of movement at the first round. And then as you progress into the movement, then you go a little bit further into the stretch. Okay, so let's do 5 times together here. So make sure you do your best. Keep your legs engaged. Your knee can be micro bent, but make sure your legs are engaged and your toes are pointed. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Hinge forward. Keep your chest open. And then lower head and shoulder around your back. And then inhale back to neutral. Exhale. Round. Inhale. Back to sitting in neutral. Arms back to shoulder height. Exhale. Hinge, stretch forward as much as you can, and then inhale back to neutral. If you feel sharp pain on your low back, don't go as far as you're going. Try and reverse and go a little less far. So decrease the range of the movement. If even so back is hurting, stop doing the movement. So be mindful of your body. Exhale, hinge forward, inhale, back to center. So bring your hands behind your back. Hands are flat on the floor. Legs are together, shaking the legs. Open your collarbones. Spread your collarbones. Open your chest and look up. Chin lifts. Don't just drop your head back. Keep your chin lifted where your head is supported. And then you go back to sitting neutral. So you're counterbalancing the stretch, opening the chest. And we're doing the side bend. So the side bend, let's start by sitting on our left hip, level 1. So make sure your knee is at 45 degrees. So you have your heels in line with your hip bones. We're resting on our left forearm. Left hand is pressing against the floor. Make sure this left arm is strong. You're not collapsing through the arm. Your torso is lifted and your head is following your spine. Your chest bone here follows your nose. You're in line. So you have your hand, right hand in front of you, in front of your tummy. And then from here, we'll lift on the exhale. I'll show 1 time. So as if there was a thread pulling your hip up towards the ceiling. We lift laterally, sideways. We're not rolling forward or back. We're lifting laterally. My knee and my lower leg in contact with the floor all the time. Now my thighs and my upper body is not in contact with the floor. My hands here for support, or can have your hands on your hips. And then inhale, lower down. And imagine there's a spring on the floor. As we low down, we touch the spring and then we go up again. And inhale, low down. Exhale, lift. So let's do it together. Make sure your elbow is underneath your shoulder. As I said, nose in line with the chest bone, 45 degrees on the leg. Legs are stacked on top of the other, as well as the feet. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, lower, exhale. If you start moving your head, make sure your head's in line with the spine. 3, inhale. 4, let's do 6 times, so 2 more. Don't collapse through your left arm. Stay strong. Engage your core. And 6. Inhale, down. Now, release the tension of the left arm. Open your legs, so my left foot's in front of my right knee. Lift your left arm up and then laterally flex to the right. So you can have the right hand on the floor there for support. And then inhale back to center. Left hand on the floor now, and then laterally flex to the left. Inhale back to center. So we'll go back to the side bend, but before, I just want us to do a rolling back. So you have your legs together, knees bent. So make sure the space between your thighs and your chest doesn't change, and your inner arches of your feet are together. There can be small gaps between your knees, but ideally your legs are together. Your hands are on the floor next to your hips for support. And I'll show you guys one time. On the inhale, I tuck my chin towards my chest, tuck my tailbone under, and I will inhale to roll on the length of my arm and exhale to come back to seated. So I roll on my forearm, upper arm, and then on the exhale, I gain momentum to come back to seated. Try not change the space between your legs and your chest, okay? Do your best to keep that the same throughout. So let's do it 5 times. And very important, guys, don't never roll onto your neck or your head. You go up to your scapular shoulder blades, and then use your hands. If you feel like you're rolling onto your neck, use your hands, to pull back to seated, okay? Protect your neck. So let's do it 5 times. If you feel it's too awkward or you're feeling discomfort, you don't do it, okay? So inhale, roll back, exhale, neutral, inhale, tuck your chin, tilt your pelvis, exhale, center. Sitting, inhale, roll, exhale. 2 more times, inhale, roll onto the length of your arm, fix yourself if you have to, and then come back to seated. Inhale and exhale, center. So we're practicing here. If that felt awkward first time or second time, we can keep doing it, and then one day we get it right, okay? The aim here is to roll on the length of your spine, using our arms for support and never going onto your neck, okay? So now we do the side bends on the other side. So sitting on my right hip, and again, 45 degrees on my knees, joints, heels in line with the sit bones. Have a look there. You can use the back edge of your mat for like a guideline as to how aligned your heels are with your sit bone. Now you can have your elbow, well, you should have your elbow under your shoulder and right hand pressing against the floor. Left hand is resting on your thighs, on your hips, or in front of you for support. Again, nose in line with the chest bone. So your neck follows your spine, your head follows your spine. So inhale, I'll show one time. Lift the hips up laterally. You're not rolling forward, and then inhale, down again. So let's do it together 6 times. Inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, hips touch the floor, exhale. Inhale, down, exhale, up. Make sure you lift your thighs 3 times. Make sure your knee and lower legs in contact with the floor all the time. One more time. And inhale, lower all the way down. Now open your legs in a Z shape, right foot in front of the left knee. Again, inhale, lift your arm, right arm, and then flex to the left. Should feel a opening of the lateral side of your body, of your obliques, and the muscles to the side of your abdomen. And exhale, flex to the right. Just a quick stretch there, a mermaid stretch. And now we're doing, we're actually rolling onto all fours on our hands and knees. We're doing the swimming box. So foundation, again. So how the foundations for this movement, what we want to get to is to move alternate leg and arm together to lift. But before we are able to do that, we have to make sure we can do them alternate and independently well done before we move to a more complex movement. So you should have your core engaged. Your back is in neutral, so you're not collapsing through your low back. Bring it to neutral. Neck long, so you're looking down forward on the mat there. So your neck long, crown of the head towards the wall in front of you. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, you will start sliding toes on your left back. So your toes on your left foot, slide on the floor until you can't slide anymore. Then you lift your leg to hip height. On the inhale, toes come down, touch the floor, and you bring your knee into center, to neutral. In exhale, you slide your right foot, right toes on the floor, and lift to hip height. Inhale, toes touch the floor, and they come back to center. Now we do on the arms. Exhale, lift, slide your fingers on the floor and lift. Thumbs should be pointing up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, fingers touch the floor and slide back to center. As you exhaling, sliding the fingers on your right hand, lifting your right hand to shoulder height. Inhale, lower the fingers towards the floor and slide them back in towards the body. So let's do 4 times on each leg and arm, okay? So inhale, engage your core. Exhale, slide, toes on the left, lift to hip height. Inhale, lower the toes. The whole length of the inhale and the exhale is one phase of the movement. So exhale, slide and lift. Inhale, slide and bring back to center. Exhale, slide and lift. Exhale, inhale, go back to center. As you're exhaling, you're already sliding and lifting the other hand, the other arm. Inhale, back to center. So let's do it 3 more times. Make sure you fully extend your legs before lifting. Your toes are pointing, and then inhale back to center. On the other side, exhale, extend and lift. Inhale, legs extended, come down, and then start bending your knee to bring back to center. Make sure your arm comes to shoulder height. Your inner arm should be parallel to your ears. Exhale, lift, and down. Now 2 more times. Leg, left leg extend and lift. Make sure your shoulders relaxed away from your ears all the time as well as the back of the neck being long and neutral. If you have to, at any time, fix your stance, fix the way positioning of your hands and your knees, you can do so too, to make sure you have good, strong balance. Now, last time, extend and lift, toes are pointed, inhale, back to center, engage your core. Imagine there's a tray with drinks on your back and you can't drop those drinks. So that's how stable your upper body, your torso should be. Of course, it's just you're doing the best to keep as stable as you can. So keep it strong and stable. But of course, we're only humans, we're not robots. So, of course, you'll move slightly. So sit back onto your heels now and extend your arms in front of you. So after the 4th time that you lifted each leg and arm. Then you sit back onto your heels. Your knees should be as open, as wide as the mat. So knees are open, and you slide your upper body in the gap between your legs, bringing your body towards the floor. Extend your arms, and then you can bring your forehead to the floor if that's available to you. Stay there for one breath. Big inhale, big exhale. Then you can slide your hands towards your body, coming to seated onto your heel, sitting upright. And we are rolling on our back. And we're doing the, so use your elbows there to support you on your way back, on your back. Lying on your back, knees are flexed. We're doing the one leg circle. So fist distance apart between your knees. So when we're standing, we say a neutral posture. We say hip distance between the feet. So here we can have fist between the knees, which would be the same as hip distance between the feet, roughly. So find your neutral spine, as we talked about before. Tilt your pelvis to find it if you haven't found it yet. Shoulders relaxed down, eye gaze is up on the ceiling. Whole body is engaged, your core is engaged, your arms, hands pushing through the floor. Inhale, exhale, bring your leg to tabletop. One leg, the other foot stays grounded on the floor. You can have your right hand on your right knee as your right leg is in tabletop. Inhale to prepare, engage your muscles, engage your core, and you start exhaling, open the circle around, and inhale. Leg comes back to center. So we're circling our knee to the right. So movement is coming from the hips, and the shin stays parallel to the floor, toes pointed, and we only move the hip joint. So let's do it together 5 times. Inhale back to center. Engage your arm, engage your leg that's on the floor, your core. Inhale back to center, 3, 4, and 5. You can go on your own pace. If my count is too quick, just count yourself in your own head. Now, reverse the circle. 5 circles to the other direction. So exhale, open the leg, and then bring back to the left. So changing direction with circling clockwise and then anti-clockwise. 2 more circles. Use your Pilates breathing, use your core engagement. Now, bring that foot back onto the floor, and then inhale, engage your core, engage your muscles. Exhale, lift the left leg to tabletop. You can use your left hand on your left knee, but you're not holding on to the knee, it's just there for support. Start circling the leg, exhale. Circle comes from the hip joint. So knee stays at the same 90 degrees as it is, and the foot is, toes are pointed. So 2 more circles. You can remove your hand and bring your hand down to the floor if you are confident that you can do that without needing extra cue or, knowing that you won't be moving your knee joint. Now, reverse the circle, change direction. 1. Make sure right leg is grounded. Your eye gaze is forward, up at the ceiling. And your hands are pressing against the floor. Shoulders are relaxed down. And last circle. Leg comes back to center before the foot comes back to touch the floor. Get your feet as wide as the mat, and we can drop the knees to one side. As you exhale, inhale, lift the knees back to center, exhale, drop them to the other side. You can have your hands slightly open at an angle there so they don't be in the way of your knees. So it's a dynamic movement. Inhale, center, exhale, drop. Inhale, center, exhale, drop. Just do a couple more times. One more time to the left, and then knees come back to center. Now, roll onto your side, roll your whole body to the right maybe, and then push yourself using your hands. We're doing the hundreds now. So I'm just checking here how much time we still have left. So I'd like us to do at least 2 more movements. So let's do the hundreds. And so I'm saying that because of people on Zoom, we have a time, we're time bound on Zoom, but on YouTube, you know, we can stay here a little longer. So lie on your back again, extend your legs out in front of you. Legs are stuck together. So imagine there's a zipper there, zipping them up. And then you'll be lifting, floating your legs up. And oh, sorry guys, I'm mistaken. I was going to teach you full version, but as we said, Tuesday is foundation. So let's do a level 2, level 1, and then we do level 2. So 5 breaths in level 1, and then 5 breaths in level 2. So we will lift, bring again, knees flexed, fist distance or hip distance between the legs. Same foundations for the leg circle. So back's in neutral, neck's in neutral. Exhale, 1 leg to tabletop. And we stay here. This time we hold the leg here for 5 breath cycles. 1 breath cycle is 1 inhale, 1 exhale. Stay here, engage your core, engage your arms, looking up at the ceiling. So engage your legs, engage your core. We're not here for much longer. So how stable can you be in this position? How strongly you can keep your legs up there in tabletop? Can you keep your shoulders down, your toes pointed, and your core engaged? On the next exhale, we bring that foot down and we lift the second leg to tabletop. Now engage your thigh, shin parallel, shin doesn't move, nothing moves. Stay here, engage your core, press against the floor. Now, 5 breaths. Should really feel your core working. If your leg starts to collapse forward, bring your knee over your hip. So that's tabletop in neutral there. So that will increase the strength that you need to keep that leg up. So you work your muscles harder by keeping good alignment. So now exhale, bring the leg down. Now, bring 1 leg, right leg to tabletop. Before you bring the second leg, we bring that knee in towards the chest. We do that to protect our low back when we're bringing the second leg up. So bring the second leg to tabletop, in towards the chest, and then we bring the 2 legs together to tabletop, to center, to neutral alignment. So knees over the hips. Keep your shin parallel to the floor, toes pointed, and stay here for 5 breaths. So engage your core, engage your arms, hands pressing against the floor. If your legs collapse forward, bring them back to neutral, knees over hips. And your eye gaze should be up at the ceiling. You can choose to, next time you're doing these exercises, if you're watching this class back on YouTube, you can choose to bring the 2 legs in tabletop and be here for the 10 breath cycle with the 2 legs in tabletop. You don't have to do 1 at a time, but it's very valuable to do 1 at a time to see how stable, how controlled you are on your movements. Now, next exhale, 1 foot at a time back onto the floor, and you can extend the legs, extend the arms, open over behind your head, and go into full body stretch. Open the legs, open the arms into 5-pointed star. Relax. Now, roll onto your side and push yourself up into all 4s. We're doing the leg pull prone. So this movement is a plank. So that's the last movement. We stay here until I'd say 10 breath cycle, but if you feel tired and you want to go back down onto the floor before, just bring your knees down, then your pelvis, then your tummy, and relax here for a while before you push back into child's pose. So elbows below the shoulders, and then fingers interlaced or clasping your knuckles there. Lift onto your knees, engage your core, and stay here looking down forward. If you want to progress, then we lift onto the toes. Feet should be hip distance apart. elbows below the shoulders. Let's stay here all together for 10 breath cycles. So make sure you're lifting through your chest. You're not collapsing your chest in the gap there between your shoulders. And your gaze is down forward. So your neck is neutral. Crown of the head pointing to the wall in front of you. Stay here for 10 full, long breaths. Or if you feel too tired before you get to the 10th breath, just bring your knees down, tummy and chest, and then push back into child's pose. And we all meet there in child's pose. Engage your core, engage your glutes, engage your legs or arms. This movement is amazing because in plank you're working your whole body muscles. Engage your thighs to lift your knees so you're not bending your knees. When you reach 10, you can lower your knees down. Now, I'll lower my knees because I reached 10, lower my hips, my pelvis, and my chest. You can make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead there for 1 breath or 2 breaths, depending on how tired you are. And when you feel ready, push through the hands. Bring your hands in line with your chest. Push up onto your knees. Sit back onto your heels and extend your arms. You can have your knees closed this time and rest your upper body on top of your knees. Bring your forehead to the floor. And then you can bring your arms around your shin, around your calves, and you can stay here relaxing. Releasing tension off the shoulders. So you can stay here for a few breaths, for as long as you need. Then you can push up to sitting onto your heels. And we'll finish our class here today, guys. So I will just do with you some stretchings, and then we can all finish together in a quick breathing meditation. Or if you don't like to stay in relaxation and meditation after the stretch, you can just feel free to go continue your day however you please. So cross your arm in front of your chest with your, let's say I'll start with my left arm, and then with my right forearm, I pull my left arm towards my chest, and I look to the left. I stay here for 2 breaths. Then I'll switch, cross my right arm in front of my chest, and with my left forearm, I pull that arm closer, and then I look to the right. Then after 2 breaths, I can just roll my shoulders back a couple times, then roll my shoulders forward a couple times. And then I will lift my arms up, bend at my left elbow. My right hand pulls my left elbow towards my right shoulder there. And then I can press the back of my head against my arm, slightly and gently. And stay here for 2 breaths, just stretching my triceps. Then I can lift the arms again up, bend at the right arm, left hand pulls the right arm towards the left shoulder. And again, pressing with the back of my head, gently, so be gentle on your neck. And I stay here for 2 more breaths. Then I lift my arms, bring them down, roll my shoulders back again, and roll my shoulders forward again. This time, with my hands on my knees, I imagine there's a paintbrush on the tip of my nose, and I'll be drawing small circles in the air. So I'm just stretching my shoulders very gently. My neck, very gently. So change direction of the circle. You can maybe increase the size of the circle, but you don't have to drop your head to the sides or all the way back. You can stay here gently moving your neck. Now back to center again. Now just stretch, interlace your fingers, push the palms of the hands forward. So stretching the back, your upper back, your shoulder blades should be going to different directions on your back, gliding outwards to the outer edges of the back, and then inhale, bring that hand behind my back, interlace my fingers there, and then I push my knuckles away from the body. So I'm stretching, opening the chest this time. Stay here just for 1 or 2 breaths and then release. You can roll the shoulders again a little bit. You can get the sole of your feet together and then holding onto your feet. You can maybe interlace your fingers under your feet, and you can pump your legs, your knees towards the floor while keeping your back straight. And stay here just pumping for 2 or 3 breaths, just releasing and stretching our hip joint there, muscles around the hip joint. Now stop, bring my legs back to crossed, and then guys, you're free to go. Thanks very much for